And here he is. Very good morning.
Good morning to you too.
Bleary-eyed, not because you've got your lovely eye makeup on, which we love, but because you were awarding Six Music their Sony Gold Award last night.
One of them, I did the one for multimedia and social skill. They got 2 or 3 awards, I think. So yeah, I was in London last night and drove here. Got here about 5 this morning. So
you a big fan of Six Music?
Pardon?
You a big fan of Six Music?
Massively, yeah. When they were going to get closed down, I was going out doing interviews to try to keep it. They've been good to me, very good to me, and I felt really strongly that it was a station that should be here.
And presumably the kind of music you do, which people are familiar with now, but when you first started doing it, it was seen as quite experimental. I mean, I know it still is to a degree. So getting played maybe was a bit difficult.
Yeah, I was #1 for 2 weeks, I think, before I got playlisted. So yeah, quite.
You were already #1 for 2 weeks.
Yeah, before.
And people were ignoring you.
Well, the radio was.
Really?
For a while, yeah. The people obviously had bought it because it was #1.
So what was going on there? Just because they didn't know the sound, or it didn't correspond with what they?
I'm not sure really. I think there was a certain amount of hostility to electronic music when it first came along. People didn't think it was real music. They thought machines did it. There's a lot of ignorance, to be honest. But that went away with time. But initially, the Musicians' Union tried to ban me for the first year or 2.
Because you were taking people's jobs away?
Yeah, they said I was putting real musicians out of work. How insulting is that? Unbelievable, yeah. My union.
On that theme, are you musical? I mean, when you were a child, were you a keyboard player? Did you do the piano?
Not really, no. I'm not a great musician, never have been. But I'm good with noises and sounds, and I can play well enough to write.
So if I were to place you...
I'm not a virtuoso player by any means.
If I were to place you in front of a conventional piano, you'd be able to play, would you?
A bit. You know, I could write a tune on it.
Right.
But that's probably... If you said to me, play like a G augmented whatever, not a clue.
Isn't that interesting?
But I could sit down and play and stumble forward, and then sort of 10 minutes later I'd have a little song for you to listen to.
Yeah, and you've produced great music with those skills.
Yeah, I've done all right over the years.
You have, haven't you? Now, I know that you've, up until now, been kind of resistant to playing your classics, Cars and Friends Electric.
I don't like doing too much old stuff, no, normally.
And that is because you don't want to be a retro artist, you want to be a current artist.
It's a mixture of that, and it's a mixture of the thing that you're excited about and passionate when you make music is new stuff. Going into the studio to write something new and come up with sounds that people haven't heard before is the fun of it, is the thrill of it. So to have some success early on and then spend the next 30 years replaying those same songs again and again seems a bit self-defeating really, but there is a debt to do it a bit. You know, the main songs. And so as a rule, when I play live, I actually don't do that much old stuff. I do some, but not that much. So the new tour that we're doing has a lot more old stuff in it, because it's to do with this best of DVD that's coming out. But it's not something I do very often. It's not something I'm going to do again for quite a few years, because I think when you do it occasionally, it makes sense and it's good fun. If you do it too much, it becomes nostalgic, and I have no interest in that whatsoever.
And if I come along to a Gary Numan gig, am I going to stand out like a sore thumb? Has everyone got eyeliner and jet black hair?
No.
Are there people who dress up? I bet there are.
A bit, yeah, a bit. It's not the way it was, not quite as bad as it used to be.
Because back in the day...
That's one way to put it, but not as much of it as it used to be.
Because then it would have been, what, wall-to-wall lookalikes?
Yeah. I like that, though. It's good fun. I'm happy that they're still there, to be honest. Whether they wear makeup or not, it doesn't really bother me.
And so you don't like the nostalgic thing? I mean, there is a lot of 80s nostalgia around. Yeah. There's Here and Now tours, and there's all sorts of bands. Oh, you make a face at that.
It's like the kiss of death to me, really. It's like admitting you've got nothing new to offer. Look at me, let's all go and remember yesteryear and what we did when we were kids. Hate it. Don't want to get involved in any of that stuff.
Really?
Yeah, hate it.
But people have to make a living.
Oh, good for them. Not good for me, that's all. If they want to do it, I'll good luck to them. If that's how your career unfolds and you're happy with that, then I wish them well. I really do. Some of the people that do that are actually friends of mine. But for me, I would rather eat worms. I just wouldn't want to do it.
I'm sure there are people who'd like to see you doing that.
Yeah,
Gary Numan eats worms.
What is your gigs? Just on the 80s nostalgia thing, you mentioned people who are friends of yours. Duran Duran playing, a great 80s group, around the same time as you, playing at this Olympics music festival as representatives of England. What do you think about that?
Good for them. Great. Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah?
No, really, truly.
You're not a great fan of Duran Duran's music?
No, I love Duran Duran.
Do you?
Yeah, I know them vaguely. Simon, anyway, vaguely. So, yeah, no, I've got no criticism of anyone doing what they want with their career. But mine has its own path, and
you're playing your
choose it carefully.
600th gig.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought it was more than that, actually. It feels like 6,000. In a nice way. In a really nice way.
In a good way.
600, I was a bit disappointed.
We'll get them to check the figures. Maybe it's more.
No, I'm sure it's true. It's the fan that actually put that together is very anarchy about such things. I'm sure he knows.
Lovely to see you here this morning. Thank you. And I know you had a very late night, so thank you for getting up for us.
Well, thank you.
Celebrating with Six Music, and with good reason. Lovely to see you. The DVD, Gary Numan, Machine Music, is out on the 11th of June. The tour starts on Tuesday.
Joey Tempest from the band